Jaya Gopi. Yashodhana Dana Rajajana Yashodhana Dana Rajajana Yamuna Tira Avanatra Yamuna Tira Avanatra Jaya Bhava Punjabi Jaya Bhava Punjabi Jaya Gopi Girivardha Jaya Gopi Janaballabha Girivardha Yashodanandana Prajajanaranga Yashodanandana Prajajanaranga Yamunatira Yamunatira Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Kadavallabha Girivardha Jaya Gopi Kadavallabha Girivardha Yashodanandana Brajajanaranga Yashodanandana Brajajanaranga Yashodanandana Brajajanaranga Yamunatira Vanata Yamunatira Vanata Jaya Dhamadhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Dhamadhava Kunjabi Hari Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Kunja Bihari Radha Kunja Bihari Radhe. Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Radhe. Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Radhe. Jaya Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe. Jaya Radha Ramana Radha Ramana Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Giridhari Radha Giridhari Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Gokulananda Radha Gokulananda Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Binati Hari Radha Binati Hari Sri Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Sundara Radha Shama Sundara Radhe. Jaya Radha Shama Radha Shama Radha Shama Jaya Radha Shama. Jaya Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Krishna Balaram Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Nitai Gauranitai, Haribo, Haribo, Nitai Gauranitai. Haribo, 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 Haribo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtota Satta Shishimachila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. Jaya Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtota Satta Shishimachila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada Ki. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की शिरोप श्री सनातन भक्त रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भक्त दस रघुनाथार्य गोस्वामी प्रभु के प्रेम से कोशि कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद से अद्वैत गदाधर शिवतरि गौर भक्त वृंद के श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपा गोपी गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरि गोवर्धन की जाय Vrindavan Dham ki jai, Mathura Dham ki jai, Mayapur Dham ki jai, Jagatpuri Dham ki jai. Vrinda Devi Tulsi Devi ki jai, Bhakti Devi ki jai, Ganga Yamuna Devi ki jai. Harinam Sankirtan Yaga ki jai. Sri Sri Gaunitai ki jai. Sri Sri Krishna Balaram ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Shama Sundar ki jai. Go Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. All glories to the Asambhavatis. All glories to the Asambhavatis. All glories to Shigura and Shiguranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So we are reading from the Bhagavad-Gita as it is. So, second chapter, text number 17. Avinashi tu tadvidhi vinasham avyayasyasya nakaschit kartum arhati. Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya nakaschit kartum arhati. Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya nakaschit kartum arhati. Avinashi tu tadvidhi yena sarvamidam tatam vinasham avyayasyasya nakaschit kartum arhati. Avinashi, imperishable, tu, but, tat, that, vidhi, know it, yena, by whom, sarvam, all of the body, idam, this, tatam, pervaded, vinasham, destruction, avyayasya, of the imperishable, asya, of it, nakaschit, no one, kartum, to do, arhati, is able. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. Translation. That which pervades the entire body you should know to be indestructible. No one is able to destroy that imperishable soul. Purport. This verse more clearly explains the real nature of the soul, which is spread all over the body. Anyone can understand what is spread over the body. It is consciousness. Everyone is conscious of the pains and pleasures of the body in part or as a whole. The spreading of consciousness is limited within one's own body. The pains and pleasure of one body are unknown to another. Therefore, each and every body is the embodiment of an individual soul, and the symptom of the soul's presence is perceived as individual consciousness. This soul is prescribed as 1/10,000th part of the upper portion of the hair point in size. The Shvetashvatar Upanishad confirms this. Balagra shatabhagasya shatadha kalpitasya cha bhago jivasa vigyeya sa cha nantyaya kalpate. When the upper point of a hair is divided into 100 parts, and again each of such parts is further divided into 100 parts, each such part is the measurement of the dimension of the spirit soul. Similarly, the same version is stated. Kesha grashatabhagasya satamsa sadrishatmakaha jiva shukshma surupa yam sankyatito hi chitkanaha. There are innumerable particles of spiritual atoms which are measured as 1/10,000 of the upper portion of the hair. Therefore, the individual particle of spirit soul is a spiritual atom smaller than the material atoms, and such atoms are innumerable. This very small spiritual spark is the basic principle of the material body, and the influence of such a spiritual spark is spread all over the body as the influence of the active principle of some medicine spreads throughout the body. This current of spirit soul is felt all over the body as consciousness, and that is the proof of the presence of the soul. Any layman can understand that the material body minus consciousness is a dead body, and this consciousness cannot be revived in the body by any means of material administration. Therefore, consciousness is not due to any amount of material combination, but to the spirit soul. In the Mundaka Upanishad, the measurement of the atomic spirit soul is further explained. Eshanuratma chetasa viditavyo yasmin pranapanchadasan vivesha pranashchidam sarmavatam prajanam yasmin vishodhe vibhavatyesha atma. The soul is atomic in size and can be perceived by perfect intelligence. This atomic soul is floating in the 5 kinds of air, prana, apana, vyana, samana, and udana. Is situated within the heart and spreads its influence all over the body of the embodied living entities. So when the soul is purified from the contamination of the 5 kinds of material air, its spiritual influence is exhibited. The Hatha Yoga system is meant for controlling the 5 kinds of air encircling the spirit soul, the pure spirit soul, by different kinds of sitting postures, not for any material profit, but for liberation of the minute soul from the entanglement of the material atmosphere. So the constitution of the atomic soul is admitted in all Vedic literatures, and it is also actually felt in the practical experience of any sane man. Only an insane man can think of this atomic soul as all-pervading Vishnu Tattva. The influence of the atomic soul can be spread all over a particular body. According to the Mundaka Upanishad, this atomic soul is situated in the heart of every living entity, and because the measurement of the atomic soul is beyond the power of appreciation of material scientists, some of them have said foolishly that there is no soul. The individual atomic soul is definitely there in the heart along with the super soul, and thus all the energies of bodily movement are emanation from this part of the body. The corpuscles, which can carry the oxygen from the lungs, gather energy from the soul. When the soul passes away from this position, the activity of the blood generating fusion ceases. Medical science accepts the importance of the red corpuscles, but it cannot ascertain that the source of the energy is the soul. Medical science, however, does admit that the heart is the seat of all energies of the body. Such atomic particles of the spirit whole are compared to the sunshine molecules. In a sunshine, there are innumerable radiant molecules. Similarly, the fragmental parts of the Supreme Lord, atomic sparks of the rays of the Supreme Lord, called by the name Prabha, or superior energy. So when one follows Vedic knowledge or modern science, one cannot deny the existence of the spirit soul in the body. And the science of the soul is explicitly described in the Bhagavad-Gita by the personality of Godhead himself. Bandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutabata Kamalan Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Chirupam Sagar Jatam Sahagana Raganatan Vitam Tam Sajimam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Dalida Sri Vishakan Vidamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Govika Ganta Radha Kanta Namastude Datta Ganjana Gaudangi Radhe Vrindavaneshari Brijabano Sade Devi Pranam Mami Hari Priya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivadari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Nama Eva Kevalam Kolau nastyeva Katyaranyata Maduram Madurebhyopi Mangalam Pavanam Pavanebhyopi Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. So here in the Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna is speaking to Arjuna about the existence of the soul, which is ultimately the essence of the instructions of Krishna. That first of all we have to understand that we are not this body, that we are spirit soul, and that we are part and parcels of Krishna, and that we are meant to serve Krishna. So in order to convince the conditioned souls, Krishna is explaining in a few verses about the symptoms of the soul. So here specifically in this verse is explaining about the soul, and that the soul is avinashi. It is imperishable. It cannot be destroyed. The body, the material body, is destroyed. The material body is temporary, only for some time. Although people, they want to live for a long time, they want to live eternally in this body, which is not possible. But the desire is there because the soul is eternal. But the conditioned soul is not aware, or he is not realized, and therefore his consciousness is in the body, and he wants to maintain the body as long as possible. So, but the body is perishable, vinasham. So, that is here one of the qualities of the soul, that it is not to be destroyed. And of course, later on and in other verses he has explained that the soul is eternal. So it is not to be destroyed, that means it is ever existing. And that is the nature of the soul. Sat, Sanatan, it is eternal. Chit, it is Chinmoy, it is conscious. And as Prabhupada is explaining the purport about the soul, and that the soul, so it is situated in the heart, or actually in the region of the heart. And of course, as explained here, and as we know, and the scientists, they cannot see the heart. Also, we say that the soul is in the heart. but we cannot find the soul. Nobody found the soul in the heart. Not possible. So this, but actually the soul is beyond this material body, beyond the gross body and beyond the subtle body, consisting, the gross body is made of earth, water, air, fire, ether. And then practically speaking as then flesh and bones and mucus and so on, and blood. But then beyond this gross body is the subtle body, which is consisting of the material mind, material intelligence, and the material ego, known also as false ego. It is not the real ego, means the self. It is not the real self, it is a false self. I'm a man, I'm a woman, I'm Indian, I'm American, I'm Englishman or Swiss, or I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer, or even as a devotee, I'm pujari, I'm book distributor or whatever. So that is not permanent situation. That is temporary, as long as we have the body. So we should not identify with this body. Of course, we have to acknowledge the existence of the body, and so we have to some extent, also then explain our situation in this world that is unavoidable. So somebody may come and see us. Hare Krishna, Prabhu, how are you? What's your name? And then you have to say the name of the body, which you got at the time of birth, for example, as it is in the passport, or at the time of initiation, we get a name. So that is not our name, not our eternal name. It is the name of this body. And so to some extent, we have to mention, yeah, my name is whatever it may be according to the passport, or when we are initiated, Krishna Das, Ram Das. So if we go abroad, then we have to show the passport, and then they will, so at the custom, or even when we board a plane, okay, show your passport. Okay, that's your name, or so you're American, you're Swiss. I have to say yes. But we know actually we are not Swiss, we are not American, but we are spirit soul. So, but sometimes we have to be on that platform of the body, but we understand it is temporary. So therefore we should not be too much attached to this existence in this world. But we have to do our duty with Krishna in the center. So that is the existence in this body. And as we know, so that Seva Sadhaka Rupena Siddha Rupena Chatrahi Tadbhavalipsana Karya Vrajalokana Sarataha. Rupa Goswami is explained Nectar of Devotion. We are sadhakas, practicing devotees, and then we have to identify to some extent with this body. I'm a sadhak, I'm a practicing devotee. I'm a servant of my spiritual master. I'm a servant of Krishna. But then Siddha Rupena Chatrahi, but then also we know I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. And then we should be inquisitive to find out what is my transcendental form. And then we have to try to find out the source of everything, the Supreme Lord. So we see the deities, and we know the deities are not different from Krishna in the spiritual realm, like Krishna Brahma, Radhisham. So they come in this form, so we can serve them, we can see them, and in this way we can meditate on them. But then Krishna's transcendental form is there. Krishna is always transcendental, beyond his material existence. Ultimately, we have to realize his Satchidananda Swarup. Krishna Sakshatkar, direct experience of Krishna. And then Atma Sakshatkar will be there, direct experience of our own self. That is our real position. Swarup Siddhi, realization of our Swarup, or Sarupgat. Prabhupada in the purport, in the introduction to the Bhagavad-Gita, long introduction, but right in the beginning is explaining Sarvasiddhi or Sarupgat, to realize our real self, a spiritual person, not just a soul, atomic particle, as explained here in the purport. If you take the tip of the hair, you cut in 100 pieces, which is practically not possible. At least we cannot do. Maybe scientists, they can do by some means, cut it in 100 pieces. But then again, to cut that 100 part of the tip of the hair again in 100 parts, I mean, I don't know if anyone has been able to do that. That is the size of the soul. We cannot even see with a microscope. Not to be seen because it is beyond this material existence. So that is the size of the soul. So we should be humble and first realize how insignificant we are, and then we can grow by chanting the holy names Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, but we can perceive ourselves by the consciousness, as explained by Prabhupada in the purport and in the scriptures. That is the symptom also of the soul. It is conscious and it spreads all over the body. And therefore we can experience the pain in the body, or some pleasure is there in the body, and heat and cold that we can experience because the consciousness is spread all over the body. And then another symptom of the soul is Ananda, Satchit Ananda, Vigraha. Vigraha means the form. Our form is there. It is eternal, conscious, and blissful. Anand. And so in the material world, we also experience some pleasure. But that pleasure is mostly in regards to this material world, and that is temporary. And it's not the real pleasure. It is the pleasure of this material body, the senses, which are interacting with the object of the senses. So man is usually attracted to a woman. So then the pleasure is there. Wow, beautiful woman. And then he wants to enjoy with the woman also. So that is almost natural in this body of a man. Of course, some natural feelings are there. Man attracted to another man, but that is the mode of ignorance. And then hearing. So we hear some nice music. Of course, different persons, they are in the different modes. One in the mode of goodness, he likes music which is in the mode of goodness, like a classical traditional music, like in Bharadvaja in India. So the sitar or the veena, and so different instruments are there, and then of course it should be done ultimately for the pleasure of the Lord. So but then the new music is there in the Western world, so which is very passionate. So that is giving pleasure to the ears, but that is material pleasure. But the real pleasure is when the spirit soul is engaged in the service of the Lord. So these are some of the symptoms of the soul, and then the consciousness which is there and all pervading. So then it will also experience, but this pleasure which is there, that is material pleasure. And then there's material distress also. So that we have to understand, and we have to understand that ultimately we have to withdraw the senses from the material objects and engage in Krishna Seva, or we have to engage everything in Krishna Seva. And then in this way, so we can satisfy Krishna, and then we'll find the real satisfaction, which is in the loving exchange. So with Krishna. Also here, Prabhupada is quoting one verse from the Mundaka Upanishad, so that the soul can be perceived by perfect intelligence. So by intelligence we can understand that we are different from this body. Therefore, when we speak to persons, we try by intelligence, by spiritual intelligence, to explain to them that we are different from this body. Or to the children also, then sometimes we ask, what is this here? Hand. Well, okay, whose hand? My hand. What is this? My head. What is this? My body. And then we ask, who are you? And then he will think, oh yes, I'm different from this body. Where are you? So I'm in this body. So if we use our intelligence, we can understand we are different. And therefore here, a few verses before, Dehinusmini yata dehe kaumram javaram jara tata dehan parapati deras tatra namuyati. So the body is changing, but the soul is not changing. The same consciousness, I am in this body, or even I am this body, which is not the right consciousness. But we understand the I am, that is not changing, but the body is changing. Of course, sometimes the consciousness is changing. But we are different from this material consciousness, from the material ego. Now, for example, now I can be, we may change one's occupation. For example, one is becoming a doctor, but then he's not successful, and then maybe he may decide to do something else. Or even as devotees. So first we are cleaning the temple, then we are going out for book distribution, and then we may become a pujari, or we may become president of the temple, like this. And then we, to some extent, we have to do our service and identify with this position. And then sometimes one has to say, yes, I am the president. If somebody's coming, I want to meet the president. Okay, then meeting him. So you're the president? Yes, I'm the president. But then sometimes he may change when he's getting older, and then he may give the seva to somebody else, or he's asked to do something else by even higher authorities. So that may change, so the consciousness may change. But we as persons, so we are the same person. That is the soul ultimately. So an intelligent, he will understand. Therefore, Prabhupada is saying here also that so a sane person, he can understand that is not his body, that is spirit soul. So, but an insane person, one who is not sane, he cannot understand and is identifying with his body. Also here, so as explained that, so sometimes you say that the soul is within the heart. So that means it is in the region of the heart, because we have the gross body and then we have the subtle body, and for example we have the life airs, which are more subtle than the other element of earth and even water. So like which is in the earth, and then it is there as the flesh and the bones, the heart and the blood is there. But then within the body, the life airs are there, as mentioned here: prana, apana, vyana, samana, udana. Udana, apana going up and down. Vyana, which is also there, actually going all over the body. Actually, the air is there. And then prana, the main one is known as pranvayu. So the soul is situated within the life airs, which is then in the region of the heart. And then also the super soul is explained to be in the heart. But again, it is not in our heart, but it is beyond. The super soul is beyond the gross body and beyond the subtle body. But it is also again in the region of the soul, in the region of the heart, but where the soul is situated. Next to the soul, then the super soul is there. And so the yogis are meditating on the super soul. They are trying to see the super soul, and those who are successful, they can see the super soul. And then they can see themselves as spirit soul. And then those who are more intelligent, then they will serve. But ultimately, the super soul is only manifest in this world, and that is an expanded form of Mahasankashan. So the relationship of the soul is not with the super soul, but with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. It may be Vishnu, it may be Narayan, it may be Ramchandra Bhagavan, it may be Dwarkadish, or it may be Shyamasundar, Nandanandan, Gopinath in Braj, or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitadip Navadvip. That is our real relationship. It is Bhagavan, not the super soul. But the super soul can be perceived by performing Ashtanga Yoga. And of course, the Mayavadis are there in personalists, and Prabhupada is also hinting, or even sometimes those who are meditating on the super soul, so but they still have the impersonal conception, and they want to merge in the super soul, or then mostly they will also think that ultimately the absolute truth has no form, and there is a temporary manifestation. Even sometimes they accept even Krishna, the Mayavadis, as a kind of person to meditate upon and to worship, so then eventually we can merge in the Brahma Jyoti. So, but that is not the right understanding. But at least they understand that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, and that there is a supreme power, supreme truth, supreme absolute truth, Param Satya or Param Brahma, but they have an impersonal conception which is just the beginning of spiritual understanding. But the ultimate conclusion is beyond even the super soul that Krishna is the Supreme Lord residing in Golok. And we are part and parcels of Krishna. But we are struggling in this material existence. But we are part and parcels of Krishna. And so we are meant to serve Krishna. And Jaiva Dharma, Jivka Dharma, that is the religion of the soul, the Jiv. And that is serving Krishna. That is the constitutional position. That is the nature of the soul. It is natural to serve Krishna, to serve Bhagavan. So, those who are fortunate, so they will understand the subject matter. They will understand that they are spirit soul, that the Supreme Lord is there, and that is Krishna. And that we have to serve Krishna, we have to serve the Supreme Lord. And then there's a loving exchange. So Krishna is giving this knowledge to Arjuna for our understanding, and it is not immediately realized, so therefore is giving quite elaborate explanation. So one can, with one's intelligence, one can understand the subject matter. So bhakti yoga, we're performing bhakti yoga. Yoga means to connect with the Lord, to link with the Lord, to come to the transcendental position of the soul, of the self, in connection with the Supreme Self, the Supreme Lord. And then with devotion, engaging in service, that is bhakti yoga. It is also known as abhyas yoga, so we have to practice abhyas, and buddhi yoga, buddhi. So we have to use our intelligence, and Prabhupada has mentioned. So spiritual intelligence That is sad buddhi. So there's material intelligence. Material intelligence will try to be happy in this world. Let me have a nice house. I should get then I should get married. Then some enjoyment will be there. And then I have to work something. I have to have some occupation, get some money, and I can eat nicely and I can buy whatever I want. So that is material intelligence. Spiritual intelligence, that will try to inquire about the absolute truth. Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now it is a time, Atato Brahma Jigyasa, to inquire about the absolute truth. When we have the human form of life, in the animal form of life, it is not possible. But in the human form of life, and usually the super soul, Krishna in the heart, will try to inspire the conditioned soul, right from youth actually, when one becomes, materially speaking, also more understanding and ripe, and that the intelligence is developed, and then Krishna will inspire in the heart that we should try to find out why I am in this material world, what will happen at the time of death, what is the purpose of life, is there anything after that, is there anything beyond this material world? So this question will come, inspired by the Lord. And those who are intelligent, they will pursue and they will try to find out. And so, and those who are fortunate, who come in contact with the scriptures, the holy scriptures, with the spiritual masters who are representatives of the Lord, then they can gain knowledge, and then they can, under the guidance of the spiritual master, they can engage in spiritual activities, in devotional service. And so by externally the guidance of the spiritual master, who has pure intelligence, then we will learn about devotional service, and then we'll learn to discriminate what is right, what is wrong. And in this way, then our spiritual intelligence will be there. And then Krishna is in the heart, he's also giving intelligence, sadhubuddhi. And then when the consciousness is purified, then the natural, real intelligence of the soul will be there. That is sadhubuddhi. And then we can really progress in spiritual life. And so the soul, so that means Satchidananda Sarup. So it consists of the consciousness, and the consciousness is there with the real ego. I am the servant of Krishna. And then transcendental intelligence will be there. And the transcendental mind and transcendental senses by which we can properly serve Krishna. So we have to come to this platform of the soul, beyond this material existence, the gross body and even the subtle body. So we have to pray for the spiritual intelligence. And then, so therefore also with Sambandha Gyan we should serve. I'm not this body, I'm spirit soul. We should chant with Sambandha Gyan. I'm spirit soul, I'm chanting. To connect with Krishna, to become purified in consciousness. And then we can, then the material consciousness will slowly disappear, and the spiritual consciousness is there. And then we have the spiritual vision. The spiritual senses will manifest, and then we can see Krishna. We can hear Krishna, Krishna playing the flute. Then you can really serve Krishna with the transcendental senses, with the transcendental body which will manifest. It is there, but it is in dormant state, in seed-like form. But by engaging in devotional service, it will manifest, and then we can serve, and then there's a loving exchange. So that we have to try to realize our real self. So gradually it will happen by following the process and keeping Krishna in the center, under the guidance of the spiritual master, the initiating or instructing spiritual masters. Then we can advance, and sooner or later we will attain perfection. Hare Krishna. Any question? Everything is clear. Chant Hare Krishna and be happy. And today's Ekadashi we chant more, and we eat and sleep less. So Mahaprasadam next time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama.